Hey guys, so last night I picked up this nice little water pump. It's a Generac 79cc. Picked up 40 bucks and it's basically brand new. I think the lady said she only ran it for about an hour, and I believe it because the oil still looks brand new. And I think the story is she put it away for a few months and then tried starting it again, couldn't get it started. So she brought it to some sort of mechanic, and he disassembled it. Maybe he lost pieces or something, but in the end, this is how she got it back. It's missing the carburetor, the whole air filter housing. It's missing the spark plug, and that's all I know so far. So here's that little water pump on the bench. And yeah, you can see the carb missing there. Luckily it still has this little spring, which I think would have been difficult to make or find. Spark plug is missing. Everything else seems to be there. Yeah, the oil is like brand new. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is just see if we have spark, and if we do, I'll just throw a plug in here with some gas and see if it fires up. And if it does that, I think I'm going to order a carburetor for it and get an air box, and it should be a good little pump. Okay, let's see if I can get this on camera. I can't even see. I'm just turning this. Oh yeah, there's some spark. So what I'll do now is just put that spark plug in, and for some reason I don't have any gas with me. So, and this is also way too long with spark plug. I'm just going to throw it in a bit. I'm going to try this with propane or MAP gas. See if that does anything. Just make sure I still have, I didn't crush that spark plug. So that didn't work. It backfired a couple times, and now that I'm actually pulling it, it feels like it might have a little bit of low compression. So I'm going to pull off this valve cover just to see what's going on, see if the valves are too tight or something. Bring the piston up the top dead center. There's exhaust opening, intake opening. That's top dead center right there. So these feel fine. This one's a little tight, but I can see light. Yeah, I'd say that's fine. Why don't we just check the compression? How can I set this? Be like that. Gotta get a better angle to pull. .30 psi, yeah, so that's not so good. Now, there must be a decompression mechanism in there. Okay, that head's coming off. Can you guys see? Kinda. Probably blocking your way. Looks like this rocker assembly, it's got a couple 8 mils. Now let's see if this head pops off. It looks beautiful. Like, absolutely beautiful. Nice steel head gasket. What's going on? Oh, I've got this back shroud thing in the way. There's nothing wrong with that bore whatsoever. Everything in the cylinder, piston, and valves looked really good. I filled both intake and exhaust ports with fuel, and nothing leaked out at all. So those valves are not leaking. Piston looks good. Cylinder looks brand new. I don't think there's any problems there. Yeah, I think maybe the decompression mechanism must be something wrong with that, because 30 psi I think is too low. And just the fact that it never tried to fire over. So I think what I'm going to do is just pull this engine right off the pump, and we're going to open it up and just see what's in there. I don't mind doing it anyway. It's pretty fun. So let's do that. So I think to get this apart, what you have to do is pull the pump housing off. Then you must be able to get the impeller loose off the crank, and then it looks like behind the impeller there's some bolts that go this way to hold the pump housing to the engine, and then there must be some bolts or nuts under here that hold the engine to this base. So I'm gonna go ahead, take these bolts off, and then see how this impeller, just give it a whack with a rubber mallet and it unscrews. So I'll pull this out. See? Just thread it onto the end of the crank. So that's really easy. So now I can just pull these Allen head bolts out, get the back half of the housing off, and then split the case, and I'll be able to see inside. Again, what I'm trying to do is just get to the cam so I can see the decompression mechanism. I have a feeling maybe it's stuck on decompress, or I don't know, something. So we'll just see what's going on, or maybe timing's off too. Okay, I'm in, and nice blue gasket. Never seen a blue gasket. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I guess I'll just get into this cam and check it out, see if there's anything that I can see. There's nothing wrong at all with that decompression mechanism. So you see how that works. The weight flies out and it just lets that pin retract, and then when it's spinning slow, that pin is up, which pushes the valve open a little bit. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know why maybe it's supposed to have only 30 psi. Well, I'm just gonna keep looking around, and if I don't see anything, I'll just put it back together, and I'll try to run it again. Yeah, it feels much better. So what I actually did when I was in there, I stretched out the spring for the decompression mechanism just so that it would release at a lower RPM, and maybe I don't know, maybe that helped it a bit. But what I'm going to do now is put some gas in here and see what happens. I don't know if that's enough, but backfire again. Oh, that's promising. I think I'm gonna stuff this socket in here, kind of just to restrict the flow of air, because right now it's running basically more than full throttle. So maybe that'll help restrict it a little bit. Pump it full of gas. Put this in there. Okay, that sounds good to me. Yeah, that sounds really good. It's nice to hear it run finally. I want to do it one more time. Spray a lot of gas in there. Man, my bench is going to catch fire, isn't it? This is not good. Okay, that's good enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to order the carburetor and an air box. I'm going to put this fully back together, and it needs to be cleaned up really bad now, because this poor machine was like brand new and I got to it, so every single surface is covered in grease and oil. Okay, let's see how much compression it's got now, because it feels pretty good. So let's see. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that. A little over 120 psi, and before it was only getting up to 30, so I think we definitely made a difference. I firmly believe it was that decompression mechanism on the cam there. that spring was just too strong. So it's been a few months since the last time I made a video of this machine. Just pumping up my basement now. So it's been a few months since I fixed this. I fixed it around Christmas, and now it's April, and I'm putting it to work, and it's working pretty good.